If you're camping in the Northeast and you can't decide where to stay, we have 3 very different campgrounds and experiences. Whether you're looking for family-friendly, unique amenities, the best views, the best location, we have something for everyone today.
Needed that. Welcome back, family travelers. We're so happy you're here. Today, we're coming at you from Carver, Massachusetts. You know exactly where that is, right? Just outside of Cape Cod, about an hour from Boston, somewhere close to there. We are staying at the Jellystone Cranberry Acres. And we chose this place because it's got lots of kid amenities, as you can imagine. The location of it is pretty well in the middle of everything that we want to do. And just look at it, it's so pretty. And there's lots of trees and stuff. Now this whole campground, this Jellystone, it's not on Cape Cod or in Cape Cod proper. It's just a little bit back. But that means it was cheaper, and now we can go and do some road trips to Connecticut and Rhode Island. So there's a lot that we can do from here.
All right, so let's start off with some of the amenities. In fact, there's one right across from our campsite. Here's our site, right there by the bike. Here's the playground. If you walk down this road, see where that little cabin is? You just go to the left of that cabin and that's the pool and the beach area. So it's like a 1-minute walk, super close. We have the pond beach area.
Is it warm water? You don't often get a beach at a campground, so this is a nice treat. It's kind of a nice pool too. I like the kiddie fountain. That's a nice touch. That's got the little jets of water. That's exciting stuff.
When it comes to campground amenities, you can also check the campground map online when you're booking. And a lot of places will allow you to select your exact site type. So that's what we did here. We found where the playground was and we picked the site right across from it so that we could sit at our site and watch them from the playground.
I haven't seen a merry-go-round in years, and that's why, because Everett's about to fly off it. They have this huge sports court that's got a big playground, a dog park, BMX thing, jump pads, paintball thing. This is where it's at for the kids.
Now when it comes to site type, this Jellystone Park, like most Jellystone parks, has several different options you can choose from. So there was a standard site, deluxe site, which is what we have, and then there are a couple different premium sites. There's one that's back in and one that's pull through. So there's some minor differences. I wouldn't say there's an extreme variation between these different site types, but the premium ones will include sewer hookup. So if that's something that's important to you, make sure you go for the premium option. But other than that, the main differences are kind of where they're located, and then the size of the site, and then the different hookups that come with it. So I'd recommend, if you are staying at this campground, pick based on the location, because I think that's kind of the thing that will determine your experience the most, rather than the site type, because they're all pretty similar. Red Apple Campground. Our next spot, Kennebunkport, Maine. We're staying at the Red Apple Campground, which I guess I should say we're staying in Arundel, which is what I call it because it looks like Arundel on the map. But it's in the Kennebunkport area. We chose this place because looking at all the online reviews and Good Sam, this place gets incredible reviews. I mean, amazing. It's 10 out of 10 on everything. So we decided to stay here. We actually found out from our neighbors they booked back in December of last year. So if you want to stay here, book early, but we lucked into getting a spot. I think there was a cancellation or something. It has some amenities, but it's also very kind of nature-y. It's super clean, super family friendly. We wanted to stay here because it's kind of a mix between having a lot of things to do to keep kids occupied, but also a little bit more like your traditional campground. There's a playground.
Okay, Mommy.
Yeah. They call this the adult swing set, so apparently it's adult size, so if you're an adult you can swing on here, but kids can obviously swing here too. The water's a little chilly. It seems to be the trend here up north. It's a nice pool. That is kind of a nice perk because we're the only ones here. It's kind of like a private pool experience. So we're about 5 minutes from downtown Kennebunkport, and we'll be doing another video on what there is to do in the area, but some of the more popular things to do here are visit. There's called a dock square, which is like the little downtown Kennebunkport area. There's several beaches. I think there's 3 main ones that are all part of the Kennebunkport beach area. And then this area is famous for George H.W. Bush had his summer home here, and now there's a memorial dedicated to him, but you can still see the house. It's part of Walker's Point, so if you go to that area, we're going to take a look at that, so check out one of our other videos for that, but it's supposedly really a beautiful area. That's where the pool and the office are. You could order your lobster over there. So our campsite is pretty close to the office. And then just looking around at some of the other sites, quite roomy, and you have some grass space, you have a picnic table, a fire ring, and there's pretty much the biggest camper we've ever seen in our lives. These are a little bit more open. And then here in the back end sites, you can see they're a little bit more shaded with some trees there.
Putting water and salt together makes paint.
Oh, creative. So we've seen a lot of the amenities and the different things to do around here. Now I want to talk a little bit about the sites themselves. So they offer both a pull-through and a back-in. We have a back-in site. Our site is also paved. I believe they offer some grass sites as well. It made it a very easy process parking because, you know, paved sites are a little easier to figure out where you need to park, plus the leveling is a simplified process. In terms of hookups, we have water and electric. We don't have sewer, but there is a dump station. Now I think some of the sites do have sewer, but again, book early if you want one of those full hookup sites, because like ours, some do not.
They're just running about. This is what happens when you get them on a sugar high.
By the way, if you stay here, there's a place just down the road that sold these big boxes of wood for $3. Before we head out to our next stop, I just wanted to say I think one of the things that makes this campground so popular and so highly rated is just the friendly atmosphere. So the owners, they are always willing to help out whatever you need, whether it's something here at the campground, you know, if you want to use any of the facilities, or you just have questions, or you want to know what's around in the area. They're more than willing to have a conversation with you and help you in any way they can. There's enough to do here to keep the kids entertained while you're at the campground, like the playground and the pool, and there's all this green space for them to run around. But then, you know, you're close enough to where there's a lot that you can do if you want to leave the campground and explore some of the beaches and the downtown area. So that's what I love. It's convenient, but you also have enough to do while you're here. Red Apple Campground, you get an A+ in my book, but we do have one more campground to explore, so that is where we are headed next. This is us.
All right. We just pulled into Acadia Seashores, I think it's called, and it looks really cute. We're like right by the water. It looks like, at least on maps, we might be able to see Acadia from our site. I don't know. Brittany's checking us in. But the thing I love about these like little tiny campgrounds, like the last one we stayed at too, and this one, is they're like mom and pop kind of thing. Like one says like text before you come in, which I think is awesome. Like they're just like text and we'll get back to you.
They straighten it out.
We finally made it.
We finally made it?
Finally made it. First things first, setup beer.
We just got here. The owner helped us to our site and then helped us get parked. So I think this is very promising of things to come. It seems like, just like the last place, the service here and the friendly atmosphere is going to be A+.
That's Cadillac Mountain.
Oh, okay. They don't have to do anything.
This is our first look at our backyard because this is it. This is our backyard right now. And before we had to actually like go out and drive to the beach. Now we just walk down a flight of stairs and here we are.
So I think that in the distance over there is Cadillac Mountain.
It's cool because we're right on the water, but then we're directly across from Acadia. And I think there might be like a ferry or something to get across. Either way, it's not too far of a drive, so that doesn't really matter, but super convenient.
I made it.
A little late in the day.
You made it up? You made it?
You're not allowed to get into free climbing. That hobby is off limits to you. So this is our third campground of our Northeast tour. We are staying at the Acadia Seashores Campground. It's like literally across the bay from Acadia, I think, as we already showed you. Oh man, it is gorgeous. But it's vastly different than the other places we've stayed. The other places we've stayed are like, you know, resorts. They have playgrounds and pools and all. This is not that. This is, you're camping here because you want to go see the rocky beach and go to the national parks and be outside and be in nature. So that's what we're doing here. Also, you have to really keep an eye on your kids because they are taking to these rocks and tide pools like, oh.
So our camper is right there, and then the entrance to the beach, it's right here. So it's really close. Our site is gravel,
I made it.
but it didn't take too much leveling, did it?
Not side to side, no. I mean, it's really like downward slopes, so you need your chocks. So I think all the sites here are the same. They don't have sewer, but they have water and electric. And then they have like a honey wagon, they call it. It's a really nice way of saying a poop sucker or poop vacuum. It's just a vacuum that goes and sucks out your tank if you need it. And they charge like $10 for it, so that's worth it. It's better than stopping at like, you know, a Pilot or something like that and paying the same and having to touch things.
I think the only real difference between all the different sites is location. So we have a back-in waterfront site, which is amazing, but we definitely lucked into it because I believe you have to book quite early for this campground and definitely for the waterfront sites, but we got it right when there was a cancellation. That's kind of when I called them and I asked about it, and so lucky for us, we were able to get in here through one of the waterfront sites. But I recommend probably booking pretty early if you want to do waterfront because I think they get booked real early, and it's kind of like a smallish campground, so there's not tons of waterfront sites here. I interrupt this video to say that there is an amazing seafood store just down the road called the Lobster Store here, and they sell some really fresh, delicious, by the looks of it, seafood. Today's special was buy 2 pounds of mussels, get one free. Can't beat that.
Oh yes.
Did they open?
They sure as heck did.
Whoa, that's like
It is a lot of friggin'
look
mussels.
at how many there are. We can invite the whole campground. Oh, I love the sound mussels.
Oh, don't they make a great sound?
Libby, do you want the first one?
Uh-huh.
Give it a taste.
Good.
Good?
Pretty nice.
You like that? Do you want more?
Yeah.
That leads us to what is there to do in the area? Well, there's a lot to do here. There's the Schoodic Peninsula, which is actually super close to where the campground is located, and it's the only part of Acadia which is actually on the mainland. And then you have Acadia itself. It took us about an hour to get there, maybe a little bit less. We're staying in Sullivan, that's where this campground is located. But right near Acadia, there's also a little downtown area called Bar Harbor. And that's nice too. There's lots of shops there, restaurants. You can get ice cream, coffee, bakeries, anything that you want is located down there, and it's a really pretty place to kind of walk around. especially after a long day of hiking and sightseeing in Acadia. There's a little shower bathhouse over there too, and that is pretty nice and clean. There's also laundry located right at the front of, close to the office where you check in. So you can do your laundry, you can take hot showers here, and you can pretty much do it all. They have everything, all the basic needs that you would want.
So that's gonna do it for us. We're packing up and we're about to host our way home. But I hope that gives you a nice idea of the kind of different types of resorts you might see on a trip, you know, in the Northeast. Starting with the kid-friendly with tons of activities, to the kind of in-between, which is more for, you know, not to say it's not for kids, but it's for the whole family, with kind of some very specific amenities. I'm looking at you, Lobster. To this, no frills, but very well maintained, but you're here for this. So you can really find it all. Make sure you like this video if you like what we're doing. Subscribe, follow us on all of our social, and all that good stuff. But for now, we're gonna get driving. Can you show everybody your baby?
Teeth.
Bye-bye.